Naxalism began in 1967 as a response to the lack of development in India's poorest rural areas. Yet ironically, the Naxals themselves are now the biggest stumbling block to development. The state of Chhattisgarh is heavily forested and rich in minerals, but few companies would like to invest in areas hit by violence. This is frustrating the local population who want jobs.
We want development in Chhattisgarh. We want the unemployed to get jobs. The amenities people enjoy in other regions should be here as well. In Delhi and Mumbai, people live with air conditioners. And our people here don't have roads to walk on.
In frustration, local tribal leaders formed an anti-Naxal movement last year called the Salwa Judum, or Peace March. The government got behind it and promised security, training and guns to protect them from Naxal reprisals. The government set up relief camps to house tribals who feared the Naxals. There are now 17 such camps in Chhattisgarh that house 50,000 people. Most of them left their villages hoping the camps would provide them better security from Naxal extortion. But there are reports that villagers were also forced into the camps by Salwa Judum leaders, eager to swell their ranks and to starve the Naxals of local support. After all, the Naxalites' real strength lies not in their 10,000 guerrillas in the jungle, but in their civilian networks in the villages. This has led to a vicious civil war over the hearts and minds of the local population. Manish Kunjam is the local leader of the Communist Party of India, a national political party that provides support to India's central government, but is also sympathetic to the Naxal cause.
Violence has increased. The Naxals have not been weakened in any way. Instead, the poor villagers are being caught in the middle. They have run away. Their houses have been taken from them. This destruction is happening in the name of Salwa Judum.
In most of Chhattisgarh, the Naxals are an underground hit-and-run force. But in the Bastar forest, they are well entrenched, controlling a large chunk of territory where government authority is almost invisible. In some cases, they provide an easier target for Naxal reprisals. They are also fast losing their sheen to the villagers themselves, as the state government has stopped supplying free rice. Now the camp residents have to buy their own food, and most have to work as manual laborers, earning $1.50 a day.
The headmen and the special police officers say if you aren't ready to do manual labor, then we will force you to leave. If you work, you will receive food every day. So we have no choice.
The Salwa Judum is now fast becoming a paramilitary force as well. Around 5,000 of its members have been inducted as special police officers or SPOs and given some training and weapons. They earn $35 a month, searching for Naxals in the jungle. The problem is that instead of being a mere self-defense force, the SPOs are often placed at the front line of the conflict. The weapons they are given are inadequate for fighting guerrillas. Most of them use the Enfield 303 rifle that first saw action in World War I.
The rifle doesn't fire. It fires 1 or 2 bullets and then doesn't fire the next round. As a result, many colleagues have died using this weapon.
The last 1 year has seen an upsurge in violence. In nearly 1,600 violent incidents, almost 700 people died. The Naxals have conducted a series of high-profile attacks in the neighboring states of Chhattisgarh, Bihar and Jharkhand. Instead of arming an unofficial paramilitary force like the Salwa Judum, a larger, better-trained police would help. In India, on average, there are 55 policemen for every 100 square kilometers, but in Chhattisgarh, there are just 17. In districts such as Dantewara, policing is an unattractive, life-threatening career.
The police were used to firing gunshots in the air, catching pickpockets and eve-teasers. Here, a problem has come where they got to go into combat. They got to use weapons. They got to go into guerrillas actions. So they have to get converted. They have to use modern weapons.
Around 4,000 policemen have been trained at the Counter-Terrorism and Jungle Warfare College, which opened 2 years ago at Kanker. The police officers go through an intensive 6-week course that trains them for jungle combat and to fight the gorilla like a gorilla.
हमारा पहले का ट्रेनिंग था कि
Earlier, when we were attacked, we used to wait for a command to return fire. Now we have been trained to live in the jungle like the gorillas and attack using their tactics. We have become confident now.
But better policing will not end Naxalism. It is after all not just a local law and order problem. To focus on its underlying socio-economic issues, the state government will have to talk directly with the rebels and negotiate an end to the conflict. Perhaps the Naxals themselves will realize their power base remains on the margins of Indian society and that their decades-long insurgency will not spark a revolution across the country. In the end, like insurgents in other parts of India, they too might prefer to come out of the cold, join the political mainstream and stand for election. Otherwise, the cycle of violence in states like Chhattisgarh will continue.